Hi, I'm Rocco from Rocco's Smokehouse, and we're proud to sponsor this video.
My name is James Cameron, and I want to welcome you to the Rolls Royce and Bentley University Buyer's Guide. Your only tuition is to click on below and subscribe. Class, welcome back. We're here in front of the Revolutionary War Museum in Yorktown. As you can see, I'm with my good friend, George Washington, first president of the First Continental Congress under the Constitution. Let's start class. Hello, class. I hope you had a great summer. Now we're going to start the second semester doing a couple of different things. One, what I want to do is I'm going to have a section that is going to be called Williamsburg Journeys. And I'm very excited about it because it's going to have a lot of the various bread and breakfasts, some of the restaurants, the famous restaurants here, as well as one or two wineries that are involved here in Williamsburg and in the surrounding areas. And we're going to focus in on them. A lot of the bread and breakfasts here in Williamsburg and in the Triangle are historical homes. They have significance historically. And so we're going to start that also as a segment. We're also going to have a segment of history with Evan Morgans. Evan Morgans was in charge of public relations for Rolls Royce and Bentley's starting in the 70s through the early 80s. And I'm very excited about Evan being part of this channel. And another thing we're going to do a thing where we talk about Rolls Royce and Bentley University graduates. That segment is going to be about individuals who have found my channel, have used some of the principles in the channel, used some of the connections through the channel, and have also gotten in touch with me and have either purchased a Rolls Royce or Bentley motor car, or have got their car restored using the information that I have been able to give them. And on that note, in a previous video, you saw us doing a 1989 Rolls Royce Silver Spur. And what was done then was the glass. There was a crack in the glass, and Danny's here in this location in Williamsburg, Virginia, was able to, one episode they took it out, another episode they put it back in. But the person that owns that car is Steve Lewis. How you doing, Steve?
How you doing, James?
Class, I want to introduce you to this man. We met at the Williamsburg British Car Club.
Yes.
When they had their rally. And that's on a previous video. You can go and see a lot of the British racing cars and sports cars and some of the also sedans. There's a very nice Jaguar there. But in any event, Steve had told me, well, James, I have an 89 and I've had it for a little bit of a time and I just can't seem to find anybody that nonetheless wants to work with it. It needs some mechanic work and it needs some cosmetic work as well. It's been almost 2 years. So Steve, this is what I want to do. I can tell them anything and they would say, yeah, that's just James saying that. But one, I want you to tell your story. First thing, I want the class to know why you decided to get a Rolls Royce to begin with, and then take us through your journey. Go ahead.
All right, well, I've always liked Rolls Royces, just like James has since he was a kid. I was always fascinated with them, even though I didn't figure I'd ever be able to own one of them. This is more of a bucket list type thing right now that I'm getting, you know, this car later in life, of course, to be able to actually enjoy driving one, and was able to afford to purchase one. It was feasible for me to actually be able to get one with the price that I was able to locate this one for. And I went on to Auto Trader and actually had been doing my homework for numerous months, just seeing what the prices of the different ones were in the different years and the different styles of cars. And I particularly like the Silver Spur car, and over, you know, some of the older ones that have the round headlights, the Shadows and the Cornish and all them. Yeah. And I finally found one and drove down to Mount Olive, North Carolina, and actually purchased it a couple years ago. And like James was saying, I've been trying to, since I purchased it, to find a dealership or a repair shop around here that would actually work on the car. And there's plenty of foreign car dealerships and repair shops around, but nobody wanted to work on a Rolls Royce. So that's why I chose, when I found out, hearing James had mentioned it on his radio station in the morning, you know, that he was actually having a YouTube channel to help somebody find places to get their cars and stuff worked on. I chose to get up with him, and I met him at the British Car Show, and he started telling me all the different people he had gotten up with to get his car restored. And also, you know, that they didn't want an arm and a leg to have somebody to work on it. The closest Rolls Royce dealership or repair shop actually around here is up in DC, which is like 200 miles away. So it really wasn't feasible to be going back and forth that far, and for what they charge in labor to actually get, you know, the car repaired. You know, I couldn't afford it. So that's a little bit of the history right there on that.
So we met.
Yes.
We saw.
Yes.
And we conquered.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the first thing that happened was that you got it down to Josh. That was the first thing. And also, class, for those of you that are new and have just joined this semester, if you go to some previous videos, you will see my mechanic. His name is Josh Wicks from Wicks Rods and Customs, and he worked on my car. And then from there, I put the word out to individuals like Steve, letting them know that he can work and will work on these cars. So what were some of the things that Josh had to do to get your car at least mechanically sound?
Yes, I had him go over the entire car. Like, you know, I was buying it brand new for the first time. I wanted to know what it, you know, involved, anything that was wrong with it, just like somebody would be doing an inspection on it. I wanted to feel safe to be able to drive the car, so I had him go from bumper to bumper on it, everything, electrical, you know, mechanical underneath. He raised it up and checked the brakes out, worked on the air conditioning, worked on power antenna, did a complete servicing on the car, spark plugs, oil change, air filter, oil filter. You know, he did a complete servicing, went over the whole car and fixed anything that he found that wasn't, you know, up to par, which didn't turn out to be a whole lot, which I was thankful for, because now it was even better for me. You know, I was thankful for the price I'd paid for the car, something that had been wrong with it or would be wrong with it, you know, and it's been good, you know, since he's taken care of it.
Now, there are a couple of other things, class, that we can't really show. We can show, but it's not complete. For example, another thing that you had to do, well, we'll take it step 1, 2, 3, 4, was your glass.
Yes.
Your glass was cracked, and nobody wanted to touch it.
No.
Including the company that ended up dealing with it, which, by the way, is Danny's, and they have 5 locations. And Danny's is now becoming a sponsor to Rolls Royce and Bentley University, so I'm very proud of that. But even Danny's initially didn't want to touch it. They said, oh, it's a Rolls Royce, we don't want to touch it. And what I did, I called them up and I said, well, let me just ask the question. Can you fix the glass for, let's say, a 1989 Cadillac? And they said, well, yeah. This is a 1989 Rolls Royce. It has none of the technology that you're thinking about. Oh, okay. And they did take care of it. Yeah. And it is on the last two videos. Like I said before, the taking off of the glass, and the person that did it was Bob, or Bobby's. And he put it back on, and you can see that they did an absolute tremendous job. And so now we have the engine done. You have your mechanics on your tires, meaning anything dealing with your brakes and all of that done. Now what we're going to do is your top, because you're going to see, class, some pictures and some video of what his top looked like before we got that taken care of. Now, I'm just going to say it. It was hideous.
Yes.
It was a powder blue top. I want you once again to look at this car. This car is royal blue with a beautiful royal blue leather interior. And I want you to picture, I know it's going to be hard, but I want you to picture this roof being powder blue. And I don't mean medium powder blue, I mean light powder blue with a large crack, which happens with the seams. So we took it down to Newport News, Harold Banks. Yep. And Harold was the one who also did the new roof for my car. So we now had Steve, or I helped him out. I took the car to Harold, and now he has his royal blue vinyl top, which totally now matches his car, and in my opinion, makes the whole car pop. So that was another issue. Now I can tell you that places want up to $3,200 to have these type of tops done, because one, it's a Rolls Royce, two, they're using dual seams. So they're saying it's extra labor. It really isn't, but that's what they try to tell you. And it can go up. The lowest I think I remember was like $2,300. The highest was $32. I can tell you that Harold Banks did this job for $1,600. And he does absolute tremendous work. There is no way you do not know that this is not directly from the factory. So now we've got the engine done. We've got your mechanics on the brakes and everything done. You've done some of the cosmetics here for your top. Now the glass, it's a necessity. So I won't say that it's cosmetics, because you gotta have a clear glass to even pass inspection. And I know that you have those plates where they're antique plates. See, I don't have them, so I don't even know what to call them. But in any event, but now your car is set that if you just wanted to have it so that you can drive it anytime, anywhere, for whatever distance, you can now have the car inspected. You would pass inspection and you would be fine.
And the last thing I did for the car was have it detailed, and Kenya Williams of I Shine Cars went over the whole interior and exterior of the car, and it looks like he did a fabulous job to me on it. Also to mention that if somebody needs to get a windshield, that Part Seekers Glass, or Glass Seekers, my mistake, Glass Seekers up in New York State is a cheaper place to actually locate glass for Rolls Royces and other vintage automobiles, and that's where I was able to get the glass for this car versus a dealership, which would have been $3,000 for the windshield. So I just wanted to let everybody know that also.
And it was all covered by your insurance, wasn't it?
Yes, that was broke. Yes.
So he could have had them get the glass at a place that would charge $2,000, $3,000, but he did the research. He found a place in upstate New York that would be able to supply these windows, these glasses, for less money, and so that saved the insurance company, which of course they're going to be happy about. The glass is pristine, and through Danny's, he was able to get it put in, and the insurance company covered everything. So there was no out of pocket. And once again, class, that's why I say, make sure that you investigate the insurances, what they will cover, what they will not cover, and do not take anything for granted. So now we have all of those things done. Now, you had a timeline. You said that you were getting ready to take a trip. There was a place you wanted to go. And how many miles was it, you said?
Well, it was about 75, 80 miles.
Okay, 75 to 80 miles. And I told you, based on the fact that you had just got your car back, and yes, it's riding beautiful and everything is good, that you did not have, in my opinion, enough water under the bridge to make sure that whatever could go wrong didn't go wrong. But on that, he didn't take my advice. He drove it. And how did you enjoy the trip?
It was perfect. No problems with the operation of the car at all. She's running smooth, starts up right on the dime just as soon as you turn the key. I mean, now it is a fun car.
Yes. It is a fun car. Have you had people looking in and trying to see, you know, who's driving? You know, is he a film director or something?
Yeah, people come up to me and ask and tell me, boy, that's sure a nice ride you got right there. And they want to go all over it, look it all over. Yeah. Everywhere I've taken it. So it's been fun.
And this is the story, class. It doesn't matter the year of this car. It's a Rolls Royce. It's a Rolls Royce. And how many Rolls Royces do you see? You'll see Mercedes, BMWs, Jaguars, Lexus, Infinitis. You'll see all of them. And believe me, they're very nice cars. I'm not knocking them. They're nice cars. But no car has the history and the ambiance of these cars. They're Rolls Royces. They are questionably now, I guess you could say, the best built car in the world. Now, maybe they don't deserve that mantle anymore. There's a lot of very nice cars. But no other cars have 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, the same ambiance that they had when they first rolled off the assembly line. So, class, I want to thank you for being here and attending. I want to thank my good friend Steve. We've become very good friends. He's given me a couple of books. He always sends me information on what's going on with the Rolls Royce Owners Club. which I appreciate. And I want you to pay attention because I am creating, as we speak here, a Patreon page for those of you that want to support this channel. So keep a look. We'll give you notice. And until next time, safe driving. Take care, class.